50% wider to hold with just one strip for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
New Flonase Allergy Relief Nasal Spray outperforms a leading allergy pill. Most allergy pills only control one substance. Flonase controls 6. So go ahead, inhale life. New Flonase. 6 is greater than 1. This changes everything.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
I work some long hours keeping my clients wrinkle-free, and back when I had FiOS, that meant falling behind on my shows. So I switched to Xfinity. Their cloud-based DVR is perfect for me because it lets me take my recorded shows anywhere I go. See?
Not on my watch.
Where do they come up with this stuff?
Don't settle for FiOS. With the cloud-based X1 DVR, Xfinity is perfect for people who can't always be home. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play and experience the X1 Entertainment Operating System. Call or visit today.
One look at that Red Baron pizza, and you're gonna love it from the first bite to the last. Because a perfect pizza requires a perfect crust. The sauce commands your attention. The cheese begs you to savor every bite. The pepperoni declares you have reached pizza nirvana. And that last slice?
What's it worth to you?
A perfect crust means a better pizza. Red Baron, love at first bite. The authentic taste of a brick oven pizza. Now available from Red Baron.
Time. The Weather Channel's most watched original program.
And it just hit us.
Is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Hey, break out the snow shovels, or rather the hail shovels here in Lucas, Kansas. It covered the ground. Reports of hail 3 inches deep, some of those hailstones the size of baseballs. And a report just came out from the emergency manager in Lucas, that's in Russell County, Kansas. Every single car, every single roof in town sustained some kind of hail damage.
All right, now we looked at the population of the town. It's about 400, but still,
yeah,
even if that ends up being accurate, that's still a lot of houses and still a lot of roofs that we're watching. Meanwhile, right now, let's take you to Shreveport, Louisiana. We're going to take you to Dave Malkoff's location there.
Oh boy,
it be raining. For sure. We kept waiting for the hammer to drop on Dave. Admittedly, we kept, well, when is it going to happen? Well, there it is, that line moving on through. And, of course, when that happens, we usually want our reporters to be inside.
Yeah.
So that is what's going on there. Some straight line winds with that particular thing, cell moving through, and also some heavy rainfall. All right, Carl, what's the state of affairs right now as far as the thunderstorms go?
Well, there are a couple of storms that are now producing damaging wind and a possible tornado as well, right along the state line between Arkansas and northern Louisiana. So let's show you where all this activity is. A lot of very heavy rain now in southern Arkansas. We're watching this big bow, this backward sea that's again along the state line, and then another line segment in East Texas and some wind with that. So we'll take you first of all into this area where there is a tornado warning. That's for Claiborne and Union parishes in Union County. That's going until 11:15. The movement is east very rapidly, about 50 miles per hour. There's also now a severe warning farther to the east, and that includes El Dorado. That's for Claiborne, Lincoln, Union parishes, and Union County until 11:45. Now, I want to show you what's happening on the high-resolution radar. And so right in here near Junction City, that's where there's a circulation within the line. So right here, that's where the wind is going away from the radar, and here's where it's coming back and toward the radar. That is that circulation. So a possible tornado there. We'll take a look and see if there's any evidence of debris. There's no evidence of debris. There's a circulation, and there's also a big surge of wind. And sometimes what you'll get in this case is not necessarily a tornado, but rather just a huge surge of wind. And in that surge right there, and we're looking at an elevation of about a mile up, the winds are now up to 97 miles per hour. 97 miles per hour. So coming towards Junction City here in Spearsville and Bernice, you've got a terrific amount of wind that's just off the ground by about 4,000 to 5,000 feet. And so where there is heavy rain, And there is very heavy rain here as well. It's going to take some of that momentum downward, and some very strong wind is coming in, especially right near the apex of that bow. And that again is coming into Junction City and into Spearsville as we speak. So a nasty storm there right along the state line between Arkansas and Louisiana, rapidly moving east. This is the same storm, by the way, that caused all those problems in Dallas and Fort Worth earlier tonight. Now, much farther south and south of I-20, there's a severe warning for Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk counties going until 11:15. And again, the worry is going to be strong wind. We saw some pretty strong wind on the radar here. And then there's another warning now in deep South Texas for Hidalgo County until 11 p.m. And here, too, very strong wind right in there. Wind as high as 75 miles per hour is going to be coming up and across the Rio Grande Valley and towards Harlingen. So heads up there. And in addition to that, there's a terrific amount of lightning that is now beginning to move into Rio Bravo, into McAllen, and will overspread 83B rather, and come up and into Harlingen. So a lot of weather continuing even at this late hour. And it will overnight tonight, and we think into tomorrow morning. We're going to watch a big complex of storms make its way into northern Alabama, through parts of Mississippi, over into Georgia, and then the atmosphere is going to recharge a little bit into the afternoon. Now, one of the big questions is, are we going to get a whole lot of mid-level drying, which would shut off the potential for storms there in northern parts of the Deep South? Would it limit it and keep it more towards the south and then more towards the north in the Ohio Valley? That's a big forecast question, but we do know there's going to be very strong mid-level wind, and along with that, there will be potential for tornadoes tomorrow across a lot of the southeast. Keith, back to you.
All right, thanks, Cole. We'll watch the developing forecast there. You got to tweak it along the way. That's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, so to speak.
Yeah, so let's see how the cookie crumbles for maybe some places where you are. Let's take a look at the timing here. Again, as we head into Huntsville, Alabama tomorrow, we could see some very strong thunderstorms. You've got a Torcon of 6, a 6 in 10 chance of seeing a tornado within a 50-mile radius.
Yeah, and also you're going to have some hail and some damaging winds likely there. And as Carl mentioned, some dry air could work in, but I think along the Gulf Coast into the Ohio Valley still have that threat for some tornadoes. Stay with us. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy skies, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear to partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You're watching extended coverage of a dangerous weather setup affecting several states right now. We've already seen flooding rain, hail, intense lightning, even some tornadoes, and more possible here in the coming hours. We're here to keep you ahead of the severe storm threat. Thanks for joining us here tonight on the Weather Channel. I'm Keith Carson.
And I'm Nick Walker. We've seen reported tornadoes in Kansas and in Texas, too. Also, lots of trees down. Power outages are abundant in the state of Texas tonight.
All right, let's start with where we're at right now with watches and warnings still in place. We just still have a big area of watches in there. There's one down here, it's thunderstorm watch. This is down for southern parts of Texas, and also one down to the south of San Antonio. They're trimming these as needed. Tornado watch is still for northern parts of Louisiana, southern parts of Arkansas, and western parts of Mississippi. Those tornado watches are good until 4 o'clock, and that is Central Time, so still have a while left on those.
And what's amazing is these are some of the same thunderstorms, this line of thunderstorms thunderstorms that affected North Texas earlier. Let's take it to Midlothian, Texas, where we had big problems earlier as these thunderstorms came through. And look what Hannah Fry tweeted out. Just this lowering of the clouds, some nasty thunderstorms, lots of damaging wind with these, and many trees down as a result.
Yeah, in fact, let's take you into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Big trees toppled and uprooted. Hearing reports of apartment building damage, also some power outages there. That system came through around 7 p.m. or so. That was Eastern time, and it had some really strong straight line winds, blasted in through the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area and did cause some damage. Nick?
I'm afraid that that's what we're seeing right now in the southern portion of Arkansas and into northern Louisiana. Right here with these thunderstorms rumbling through, we've had numerous reports already, and they're still coming in, of trees down, power lines down, and also trees down on roadways and cars smashing into them. So we're continuing to see all kinds of problems and maybe even a tornado too. A tornado warning here for Claiborne and Union parishes, Union County as well here around the southern portion of Arkansas, just south of El Dorado. Corning, Junction City, under these warnings, you need to get to your safe place, the lowest level of your home, away from windows. These are strong thunderstorms. If they don't have a tornado, they certainly have damaging winds. We've seen in some of the mid-levels, 90-plus mile-per-hour winds from this. You get some of those winds down to the surface, and you're going to have all kinds of problems, and we're already seeing those with the downed trees and power lines. As you follow it, we're going to see problems in El Dorado at 11:03, by 11:23 in Farmerville, Marion by 11:30, Cross at 11:50, and by just 1 minute after midnight there Central Time into Bastrop. These thunderstorms have held up all the way from North Texas earlier, the ones that hit the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Then we've got problems here around McAllen, Cameron, and Hidalgo counties here in South Texas, under warnings here for the possibility of damaging winds and large hail. Edinburgh, McAllen, and Farr, you need to get inside a sturdy building and stay there. Don't go out on the front porch to see this. There's a lot of lightning with this as well. Keith?
All right, thanks, Nick. And of course, we have teams out covering the impacted areas tonight. Let's start with Dave Malkoff. And Dave was getting hit pretty hard with that squall line last time we looked at his camera. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. Dave?
Look at what happened. The storm seems like it broke up a little bit, and we're not getting any rain here right now except for the stuff that's coming down from the top of the hotel. But we are getting messages from NWS Shreveport saying that they have issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Union and Claiborne and Lincoln, and so they do have still warnings out. We even got a message from somebody who was in Homer, Louisiana, which is actually northeast of us. You would expect the storm to come in from the west, but it was kind of wrapping around the top part of the state. So we had a viewer who was telling us that the tornado sirens were going off just about 15 minutes ago northeast of us in Homer, Louisiana. But right now we've gone back to no wind and no rain here on the ground. That doesn't mean that there isn't a threat here. It just means that we've caught kind of a break for right now. This can possibly go into the wee hours of the morning. Also, we're seeing a lot of lightning up where Mike Bettis is in Hutchinson, Kansas. That's just about an hour outside of Wichita, right, Mike?
Indeed, Dave. It's off to the west of Wichita. The storms that came through here really whipping through with a lot of rain, serious lightning. Now the storms have passed off to our east. Next in line is Wichita. Those storms roughly 30 miles away, going about 30 miles an hour. So it should be in Wichita in about an hour's time or so. So it's now central Kansas, and you work your way up I-35 really. Salina will be getting nailed. We've been nailed in Salina all evening long. In fact, they canceled the races up in Salina at the racetrack this evening because of the weather. And then over toward Junction City into Manhattan, strong storms. They get into Topeka, and then this entire line is going to roll through eastern Kansas through the overnight and eventually hit us in Kansas City as well. So we've got a long way to go here in Kansas before all is said and done, but we have had some brief tornado touchdowns, especially off north of I-70. That was earlier in the day. And a lot of the storms now generally just lightning producers and rain producers, none of them meeting severe weather criteria, meaning we don't have the hail size, and meaning we do not have the wind wind speed to go with them either, Keith. So I think that's a great sign for us here. I think Wichita will get some rain tonight, and maybe it'll help green up the lawns, but not anticipating at this point any more severe storms here, at least in the Wichita metro area when they come through in the next hour or so.
All right, thanks, Mike. That is good news. For sure, they had some of the more picturesque storms there, but things starting to settle down. Let's look ahead now, though, to tomorrow, because that's another threat day that we have. Here's a look at the shaded red area is your severe thunderstorms. The orange area means generalized thunderstorms that we could be seeing. Big population areas here from Atlanta to Tallahassee, Nashville, down into New Orleans. Damaging winds, hail a possibility. Torcon numbers here. 6 in southern Illinois, southern Indiana, western parts of Kentucky. You slide down to the south and through Tennessee. East Tennessee, a 5 out of 10 there, in northern Alabama as well, and then down into North Georgia and central Alabama, a 5 there. Now, there are some doubts in the forecast. We have to be forthright about that, in the fact that there could be some mid-level dry air that could put a hamper on whether or not these storms get cracking at the right time for severe weather, but let's continue to watch that. And then as we head into Sunday, now we shift into a different system because the original system will be offshore. Another short wave, though, as we call it, upper-level disturbance, moves in through Texas. So Texas has been busy lately. Dallas, Austin, San Antonio again will be under the gun. Now, the ingredients as far as the low-level shear here and everything not quite as well put together as today was and as yesterday, or as tomorrow will be, I should say. So a Torcon of 3 in through central parts of Texas on Sunday. We'll probably have one more active day on Monday. Some good signs of things settling down, though, as we head into later on in next week. Nick?
Boy, we certainly hope so, that things will settle down soon. But let's take a look at some areas that specifically could be affected as we head into tomorrow. One of those is Atlanta. You could have storms all day long. Some of those could be very strong with hail and damaging winds, and a 5 on the Torcon.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, partly cloudy skies, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear to partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sundays.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel. True Green presents the Yardleys.
Sorry.
Spring is on. Start your True Green lawn plan today. True Green. Live life outside.
Well, sir, after some serious consideration, I'd like to put in my 15-year notice.
You're quitting?
Technically retiring, sir. With a little help from my State Farm agent, I plan to retire in 15 years.
Wow, you're totally blindsiding me here. Who's going to manage your accounts? This is a devastating blow I was not prepared for.
Well, I'm going to finish packing my things. 15 years will really sneak up on you.
Jennifer will do your exit interview, and Adam made you a cake.
Red velvet.
Oh, thank you.
I made this.
Take charge of your retirement. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore. It's part of a big Italian family.
All calm now in Fort Worth, Texas, but the damage is done. Take a look at this large tree as it did some substantial damage, falling on top of a house and a fence here. Just some amazing winds that we had here in Fort Worth. And this is what it did to some of the roofs and even into the ceilings as trees fell. Marissa Duran, thank you for the pictures. Tough day.
Everything passed over. The lady I was talking to experienced right, in front of her, when it all was happening. She was in her car, and maybe a quarter from the branches, it just all came down and everything just blacked out. And she was telling me, how blessed she was just to be able to get out of that situation.
Looking out the window, and you can actually see all the wind coming across, and all the trees were just blowing like crazy. And then once it hit around the pool section, a couple of the tables and the chairs and stuff went inside the pool, and the pool itself looked like it was white capping, like you were in the lake white capping. And then it just kind of pulled over, and all of a sudden the tree just went straight down.
It looks like they had some pretty good downbursts in there, some straight line winds as well. Maybe a brief tornado outside of Fort Worth itself, but some damage done for sure. Here's what we're looking at right now. We have a decent little line still holding together. As predicted, it's gone from what you call discrete supercells into a larger congealed line where the straight line winds become the main threat. That being said, within these lines, sometimes you do have little spin ups, and that's what this tornado warning is for. And this is Union Parish here, northern part of Louisiana. So what we're looking at is just maybe a little turning here, a little rotation. They like to be careful with these. There's been no confirmed tornado with this. This is a Doppler indicated situation just on the edge of this squall line. So that's what they're going to watch as we track this thing basically due eastward here. It will run into Farmerville at 11:17, cross it coming in at 11:46 and 11:56 in Bastrop. And again, these areas, even if the tornado warning is gone, this squall line is coming through those areas regardless. Meanwhile, just got a tweet from down in southern parts of Texas. They mentioned they're getting hit pretty hard, and it looks like it. There's a severe thunderstorm just coming over here from Mexico into the very southern part of Texas. This is valid until 11:30 Central Time. A ton of lightning with this one. Look at all this lightning in here coming across the border. So, lightning is not a severe weather criteria. That it can't warn it for that, but they can issue special weather statements because of it, because it's very dangerous, obviously, if you're outside. Luckily, the time of the night shall help eventually. Meanwhile, up closer to the actual upper level low here, we do have a couple of storms rolling on through. Mike mentioned that they're clear of his area. They're going to come through Wichita here in the next 30 minutes or so. We do have a severe thunderstorm rotating on this particular system here, and this is valid until 11:15. Richardson, Pawnee, and Nemaha. Those are the counties that are under that watch. So that's all part of the bigger severe weather line that we're watching as it pushes eastward and it's progressing. So let's time this out for you as we head through the rest of tonight. We expect it to stay in the squall line format. This actually plays a role in what's going to happen as we talk about tomorrow, because we're going to get these thunderstorms rolling through Alabama here 7 o'clock, northern parts of Georgia 7, 8 o'clock, and this happened to us today too. Sometimes these early thunderstorms do stabilize the atmosphere for later in the day. So if we get the thunderstorms through, it could be a little bit harder to get that instability going tomorrow. That being said, we do still feel like there's a pretty good severe weather threat here in the shaded red areas, and our Torcon numbers are still relatively high, particularly to the north here in through southern parts of Illinois, southern Indiana, western parts of Kentucky, even in through Tennessee. We're going to have people in the Nashville area. We've got a 5 there, and then a 5 down in through northern Georgia and central Alabama. Nick?
Could see more lightning pictures like this one. Near Greenville, Texas, east of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, lightning just lit up the sky as those thunderstorms went through. Lightning was only part of the problem, though. We also had the damaging winds. Still, a lot of folks recovering tonight.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Gonna wash the dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may. I'm making a beautiful day.
You're only young once, unless you have a Subaru.
Drive.
The Subaru XV Crosstrek. Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 34 mpg. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to have a vitamin verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended letter vitamin brand.
These days, you may be hearing more about data breaches in the news. It's possible your personal information may be at risk. Research shows that if your information is compromised due to a data breach, you are 6 times more likely to become a victim of identity theft. Now is the time to get protection. Sign up today, and LifeLock will begin monitoring your personal information, including your social security number, alert you about suspicious activity, and, if needed, take steps to help restore your losses.
You only have one identity. Protect it with the best. LifeLock.
A home is more than just a house. And an office is more than just a place to work. ServiceMaster is here to offer home and business services when you need them most. We take on jobs big and small. From coast to coast, there's no project we haven't seen before. We do it all for you.
I'm Matt Paxton from TV's Hoarders. I clean the messiest homes across the country. When I need help, I count on ServiceMaster Cleaning. Call or visit them online.
Constant Contact gives you all the best email marketing tools, like newsletters and event invites. So whether you run a small business or a nonprofit, you can connect with, well, everyone. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
Control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it. That's awesome.
They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's the last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Don't let bad weather get in the way of your entertainment. You have DirecTV, right?
Yeah, I do. Every time it rains, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna watch TV.
So we're watching the big game, and now it's starting to rain. Oh no, I know what that means.
Look familiar? Yes. Yeah. With Xfinity, you get crystal clear picture quality, rain or shine.
There we go. DirecTV, see you later.
Don't get rained out with DirecTV. Xfinity delivers reliable entertainment, rain or shine. Switch to Xfinity from Comcast today for a great offer. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY or go online.
If your age is between 50 and 85, you probably think you can't afford life insurance. The thought of leaving your family the burden of your final expenses can be stressful, but one simple call to Fidelity Life can provide you and your family with peace of mind. With premiums and coverage amounts guaranteed to stay the same for the life of the policy. There's no medical exam required, and by answering a few simple questions, your coverage can start immediately. Speak with a licensed agent for Fidelity Life today.
Call today, 1-800-516-0730.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
One of the best shots of the night taken by our man Mike Bettis near Hudson, Kansas. We got this live on the air as well. Really good looking shelf cloud, just really textbook classic kind of stuff. Luckily, no tornadoes spawned from that particular system. We did have a few brief touchdowns in through Kansas and some ominous looking shelf clouds like that in through Kansas as well. Nick?
Well, if we had daylight, you might be able to see clouds like that with thunderstorms here in South Texas. We still have problems here this evening, and until 2 a.m. Central Time, we've got a severe thunderstorm watch here on the southern tip of Texas, McAllen to Brownsville in that, and also south of San Antonio, we are still seeing the possibility of more severe weather there as well. We've got a tornado watch, and this has been extended farther toward the east and farther in time as well. This goes until 4 a.m. Central Time, and it encompasses now portions of Mississippi, back toward Arkansas and Louisiana, as severe thunderstorms continue to move right near the border here. We've had all kinds of problems with the wind and trees down, power lines down, trees on top of houses. That has been true here right in southern Arkansas and in northern Louisiana. The tornado warning? No longer there, but we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for that area and numerous flood warnings off toward the north as we've had just copious amounts of rain. Claiborne, Lincoln, and Union parishes, Union County in Arkansas under this. El Dorado, you're seeing those thunderstorms pass off toward your east now with lots of lightning with this too. When thunder roars, go indoors. No place safe outside in a thunderstorm. And of course, the thunder probably keeping you awake this evening here. It's going to take a while before you're going to be able to get back to sleep, no doubt about that. Cameron and Hidalgo counties, you're under warning here in South Texas for the possibility of hail and damaging winds. From McAllen to Harlingen now, we could see these problems as the lightning now coming into Harlingen. Look at all these lightning strikes, just numerous here. And there's going to be a lot of lightning continuing here with these thunderstorms as they pass off toward the northeast. So again, get inside a sturdy building and stay away from the windows as well. The number of lightning strikes, almost 1,700 just in the last 15 minutes. Incredible. Now we've got problems here toward the north. Yes, see that spin in the atmosphere associated with the upper level low. Wichita could see a line of thunderstorms move through your area. No warnings on these. And eventually over toward Kansas City if these hold up. We've had lots of problems today in Kansas, including tornadoes. And as these thunderstorms make their way up into portions of Nebraska, we're continuing to see the possibility of some heavy amounts of rainfall and obviously lots of lightning too. The biggest problems though here in East Texas, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and now into portions of Mississippi. We'll track this all out, and here over the coming hours, we're continuing to see these move eastward, so on into Alabama and into Georgia during the early morning hours. We could be awakened once again by thunder. Keith?
All right, thanks, Nick. Meanwhile, hail a big factor as well. St. Martinville, Louisiana, some big old hail coming down. You can see ping-ponging on everything. That's a good size hail for sure. Just dented up cars as well, not good. Hail, meanwhile, covering the ground in Lucas, Kansas. Reports of hail 3 inches deep. Some of those hailstones the size of baseballs. It looks like a slushy sleet mixture that you'd see during the winter. Let's talk about hail, shall we? Because that's one of the things that, tornadoes obviously catch your eye, but hail can be a big thing as well. And how does hail even form? Well, it starts with the moist flow of warm air and updrafts. It's updrafts that push things up into the clouds. They can exceed 100 miles an hour in the vertical direction. And what happens is these tiny raindrops form and rise into the updraft. But as they get up and higher in the cloud, they get to a cold spot below freezing and they start to freeze. Makes sense. As it gets higher in the cloud, it gets colder, and that's what happens. The updrafts try at first to suspend these hailstones in the cloud, and they do so for a while, but as it gets larger and larger, at some point, the gravity of the situation overcomes the updraft and it comes down as hail, and you can see these hail cores on radar, and they end up in your backyard when they get too heavy.
Hey neighbor, this weekend only at your neighborhood Ace, buy 1 bag of Scott's Weed and Feed and get Scott's Lawn Food for free. That's a $15.99 value, because getting help at Ace is like going to your neighbor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
This year, make every amazing despicable. Wizarding second of your vacation count by staying where the adventure never ends. Come with me now. 2 theme parks, spectacular resort hotels, more epic than ever. Don't just vacation. Go with me now. Vacation like you mean it. Universal Orlando Resort. Go big with hotel rooms starting at just $139 per night, and kids stay free.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tires she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier Tire, even as it wears down over time, its safety doesn't, thanks to Evergrip technology. The Michelin Premier Tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
Oh, man. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
You gotta do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim.
State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
You want me to pick just one? Yeah, right. I say if it looks tasty, order it. Because at Red Lobster's Create Your Own Seafood Trio, I can have it all. Choose 3 of 9 dishes for just $15.99. Like the creamy baked lobster Alfredo, and the sizzling brown butter shrimp scampi, and fresh soy ginger salmon topped with sweet pineapple salsa. I could go on, but there are 3 things on one plate waiting for me, and I'd rather just go, wouldn't you? But hurry, it can't last forever.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Sundays. One man's trash. This is perfect. Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier. Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Boy, did we ever have a lot of hail and heavy rain in the Dallas, Texas area tonight. You can see the little hail bouncing. You can also see it making a pretty good little splash there in the pool. That was just one of the many problems that you had from thunderstorms moving through there. Probably bigger were the damaging winds, and we've seen a lot of trees down as a result.
Well, at least they have a posh pool setup. That's something.
Yes,
it looks nice when it's not hailing. It'll be fantastic.
I bet it does.
Hey, thanks for staying with us here on the Weather Channel. We're in extended coverage to keep you ahead of tonight's dangerous weather.
We've seen a lot of hail. We've seen some flooding, even some tornadoes reported. We had, I believe, 9 reports of tornadoes. Some of those might have been the same tornado.
Sometimes they're duplicates, yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see.
They'll go back. Check this out, though. This was in St. John, Kansas. Nicole LaFleur sent us this picture. That's a pretty awesome. That's a pretty awesome picture.
I follow her on Twitter, and she says she has a thing about clouds, and you can see that.
I hope she doesn't have a thing about me saying her name wrong.
Well, probably.
But that is a good-looking cloud, though, a very ominous one for sure. Let's take a look at our watches and our warnings right now. We still have quite a few left. Thunderstorm watch down across Texas. There is a really nasty little cluster moving, and we'll show you that in a minute, coming in from Mexico. And meanwhile, we do still have our tornado watches in effect, and that is northern Louisiana in there.
Yeah, and this really goes all the way until 4 a.m. So into the wee hours of the morning here, through Arkansas, through Louisiana, on into Mississippi, and we're continuing to see some pretty nasty storms right along the Arkansas-Louisiana border. Let's get an update now on where those are headed. Keith?
All right, yeah, 4 a.m. That's way past my bedtime. Let's talk about what's going on with the line right now. You can see it kind of congealing into, and this actually honestly happened a little earlier than forecast. The supercells turned into one larger line, usually then not precluding but lowering the risk of tornadoes. And that happened pretty early in the evening, and it's ongoing still. But still, these bow echoes kind of pushing out. We have some severe thunderstorm warnings to talk about. Morehouse Parish, that's in Louisiana, and the county would be in through Arkansas. They call them parishes there if you're not familiar with that. Anyways, straight line winds is what we're going to be watching with this. Doesn't have much of a hail signature to it, so probably just going to watch some wind gusts 50, 60 miles an hour with that particular one. Meanwhile, we have another one here, severe thunderstorm warning. Durant, Lexington West are the cities we're watching. It is until 12:15, moving across Interstate 55 through Mississippi there. That is a more isolated looking cell. That probably does have hail with it. Just judging by how it looks on the radar, you can get a pretty good idea whether or not it's straight line winds, tornado, or you're talking about hail. So in the big picture, that's where most of the action is in. But down to the south, I mentioned this one line because we still have a severe thunderstorm watch down here across southern, very southern parts of Texas. And that's really for this particular stuff coming in right over from Mexico. And it doesn't look like much until you overlay lightning on it. There is a ton of lightning, a highly electrified storm system that has been coming in here. So I mentioned this before. That's not a criteria technically for a severe thunderstorm, but it certainly is dangerous. Take a look at that right there. All that lightning, and these are the real-time lightning strikes coming down. And as a general rule of thumb, if you can't see the radar through the lightning, it's a lot of lightning. In fact, I'll move my head. We'll take a look at the number of strikes here. That's 1,800. And Alan, is that 15 minutes? The 15-minute data there. It's 15 minutes. So that is a ton of lightning in 15 minutes for a small area. So you don't want to be outside anywhere around this severe thunderstorm. And actually, at the moment, it's probably the most dangerous one we have on the map because it has all that lightning moving off to the north and east. So those are the areas that we're watching. And again, that line to the north of us, if we go back into parts of Louisiana, here's a tornado warning here till 12:30 Central Time. So what they're watching is just these little kind of spin-ups on the edges, the leading edges of these of this line of thunderstorms. So this is not a confirmed one at the moment. This is a Doppler indicated, but still need to treat it seriously. Of course, northern Louisiana, they just switched this from a severe thunderstorm warning, and they added to it this tornado warning, just kind of showing that little bit of a notch in there, indicating perhaps some rotation. Thank you, Alan. You read my mind. Going to the reflectivity here, trying to see if we see a couplet. Let's zoom in a little bit. A little baby one right here. See how the red and the green in here, it doesn't look overly impressive, obviously, but they're trying to be cautious because there is enough mid-level wind in here that we can see some rotation in there. And there's another one. That's actually a better look at it. Thank you, Alan. Just a little bit in there, but certainly not anything that jumps out at me on radar as far as being something on the ground. But we'll continue to watch that. That's the only tornado warning, I believe, right now in the entire country that's ongoing, and that's in northern Louisiana there. Let's take a look at it notched out on the radar. We do have, obviously, ahead of that as well, a severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll watch that and then see if this develops into anything further. Nick?
All right, thanks so much, Keith. Our live teams are out in full force tonight. Meteorologist Mike Bettis is in Kansas. We'll hear from him in just a few minutes. But let's start with Dave Malkoff. And Dave, it looked like you were going to get just socked in Shreveport, but what have you seen in the past 30 minutes or so?
I did not expect to be able to unzip my jacket here and take down the hood, but that's exactly what happened. If you look at the radar, it appears that we are in some kind of bubble with storms all around us. It's almost like a force field standing in this, where we look like there's no rain and there's no wind, but we do have a strong cell coming from our west, which would be just about that way. Also, we got a report out of Shongaloo, Louisiana. It's a Indian term for running water. It's got less than 200 people living there, but they do say nickel-size hail coming down there. That report coming from the NWS right here in Shreveport. So for right now, we are standing inside the bubble. As we say, it's amazing out there. And Mike Bettis, it's even amazing when something doesn't happen, even though that may be coming for us. And you've got a lot of lightning up there in Kansas as well.
These storms are really packing a punch. No severe thunderstorm warnings, but tons of lightning with these storms, Dave. Maybe you'll see some small marble-size or pea-size hail with a few of these storms, but we're finally happy to say that we can actually see some moon out there. Hey, can you see that? So we got a little bit of clearing out there. That's good news for us here in Hutchinson, as now the strongest storms are pushing off to our east. But what it means, though, is there's a squall line coming toward Wichita. There's actually another squall line coming toward Topeka as well. So both of those cities could get hit about the same time. Those storms 15-20 miles to the west of both cities. So heads up in Wichita, you're going to get the same thing that we saw here in Hutchinson just a little bit ago, which again is going to be lightning and some heavy rain. Should be brief though, a quick downpour, and then it'll be out. Although there is one storm that's getting close to Wichita that may have some larger hail. We'll know that the National Weather Service will be monitoring that one very closely to see if it'll meet hail criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. But a pretty rough day across Kansas. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. We had some large hail, golf ball to tennis-sized hail. We had that up in Russell County in the town of Lucas. We had some damage to schools there, to cars where windows were knocked out of cars. We had some brief tornado touchdowns up in Russell County. It's all be north of I-70, so a good distance from where we are here in Hutchinson. But nonetheless, it's good to say that we've pretty much escaped without too much problem here in Kansas. And now we're going to watch this go through central and eastern Kansas for the remainder of the evening. So there'll be a nighttime threat here until it then moves off into Missouri for tomorrow. But Keith and Nick, you know, we haven't seen much severe weather this season so far in Kansas. I think we're just now priming the atmosphere, and we're getting into the heart of the season. So now through May and early June, here we go, Kansas. Be on alert. This is a nice trial run for us. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
All right, yeah, you're right about that. And Malkoff has my curse of just being there and nothing actually happening, by the way. Hey, take a look at this storm cloud here. This is from, where are we? Oh, Russell, Kansas. That is it's a good looking lowering base of the cloud, for sure.
This is the area that Mike was talking about that had all the hail. Yeah. There was that town in Russell County, Lucas, that had every single roof and every single car pounded and damaged by hail.
And it almost looked like it wanted to develop something there. See what they're zooming in.
There actually is some circulation at the ground.
Yeah. That's interesting. And
there's a tornado.
It's interesting to watch the chasers, by the way. You can see them in GPS, and you can see where they're all located. That's a good idea of where you don't want to be for the most part. If if Cantoria and they converge on your town, you got problems. All right, we'll be right back after the break.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Now at Boston Market, new slow-braised pulled pork. So tender, it falls apart. Topped with zesty barbecue or garlic citrus sauce. A bold new taste from the slow roasting experts at Boston Market.
6 smoky hours. One tasty dish. Slow-braised pulled pork, now at Boston Market.
Incredible. I've been Claritin Clear for 10 days.
When your allergy symptoms start, doctors recommend taking 1 Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief.
With powerful 24-hour non-drowsy Claritin, live Claritin Clear. Every day.
Now with a full line of independent rear suspension options, the Foreman, Rubicon, and Rancher automatic DCT models are equally ready to work and have fun. Part of the growing ATV family from Honda. Now get low fixed financing rates plus up to $500 in bonus bucks during the Honda Dream Garage sales event.
If you take multiple medications, a dry mouth can be a common side effect. That's why there's Biotene. It comes in oral rinse, spray, or gel, so there's moisturizing relief for everyone. Biotene, for people who suffer from a dry mouth.
The open road. It takes on many forms. From the scenic highways to the rugged trails. From the sand-covered to the well-traveled. They lead us to the beauty of nature and the beauty of simple pleasures. The open road is alive and well and waiting to take us to Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
True Green presents the Yardleys.
Drives down the lane. Beautiful.
Oh, come on.
Big man underneath.
Come on, it was in the pink there.
It up off the glass and it's in for 2.
This is more than a lawn. This is a True Green lawn. Live life outside with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. Spring is on. Start your True Green lawn plan today. True Green, live life outside.
So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. So großartige Autos werden nur in Deutschland gebaut. Ach, verdammt! I said it 3 times and it's still not true.
Performance is now an American thing. Introducing the all-new Chrysler 200. America's import. Find it at Chrysler.com.
My budget was always second-guessing me when I'd buy stuff for the family. Fingerhut. 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 At Fingerhut.com, we can shop with low monthly payments. Over 200,000 items and growing from brands like Samsung, Lego, and KitchenAid. Just click on over to Fingerhut.com to get the credit you deserve and great stuff for your family. Oh, not Fingerhut. I got that at a garage sale. For $1.
That's an eerie sound there. Tornado sirens going off in Duncanville, Texas. And I have to tell you, Nick, when I first moved down to the south, that was the first time I heard it at my house. And, you know, as a meteorologist, you feel a little bit better about it, but it's still scary.
It really is. And I know exactly what you mean. I moved to the south from Seattle.
Yeah.
Tornado warnings, pretty rare there. And, you know, you get them and you go, hey, I got a basement.
I guess I
got to
should
use it.
I should do something about that. Yeah, that. So again, that was in Texas earlier this evening.
We had big problems in Texas earlier this evening with damaging winds, and this is what they did in Fort Worth. I mean, we had winds that were estimated up to 80 miles per hour, and trees were just snapped like toothpicks throughout much of the city here. And they came down on roadways, they came down, in some cases, on homes. So we had numerous trees reported down, and the power outages still in the tens of thousands this evening.
Yeah, that was the biggest biggest problem. That particular cell that went through Dallas or Fort Worth was pretty strong. Meanwhile, in Arlington, Texas, some pretty good rain there, some gusty winds as well with this particular cell. And we saw some downbursts, some straight line winds. Didn't see much in the way of tornadoes in Texas today. We did see a few spin-ups in through parts of Kansas, but overall, the number of tornadoes today, it looks like it's sub 10, which is good. Let's take it to Shreveport live here and take a look at what's going on. Malkoff position there. We had the line come through. It's continuing to rain as well. Obviously, the way it's illuminated, it looks a little bit more like snow than anything, but they're on the back edge of that system. The line kind of split almost right where he was located. The heaviest stuff to the north and to the south, but still some rain, some lightning, and a few gusty winds pulling on through. Nick?
Let me show you on the map here our storm reports, okay? You get these symbols on the map. That indicates hail or damaging winds, maybe a tornado. Look at this. There was a tornado in Winter Haven. There was a photograph that confirmed a tornado near Farm Road 191 between Highway 277 and Highway 83. Likely on the ground there between 7:48 and 7:53 p.m. right here in South Texas from a thunderstorm earlier this evening. Then we had all those hail reports, all the damaging wind reports, numerous wind gusts here. Look at this one in Benbrook, 72 miles per hour. No wonder we're seeing more and more pictures of the trees being snapped here. Lots of wind damage, particularly on the west side of Fort Worth today. That was a big problem. A lot of hail reports south of the Dallas area. Then we've got thunderstorm wind gusts here in southern Arkansas and in northern Louisiana. In Shongaloo here in northern Louisiana, power lines down, a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust reported there, just one of many. We've had trees down on homes. We've had trees down on roads. They're right along the border of Louisiana and Arkansas, and still a tornado warning out for this area. This covers the southern portions of Arkansas. Morehouse Parish in Louisiana under the warning now. Ashley County in Arkansas, Crossett, North Crossett, and West Crossett all under warnings. And, you know, you need to get to the lowest level of your home, away from windows. If you've got a basement, do it right now. Get there and shelter yourself. There could be a tornado with this, with some weak rotation reported with this. We could see also the possibility of some gusty winds that could do damage. Even if there's not a tornado, we could see damaging straight line winds, as we have seen from thunderstorms all the way back into North Texas, and that's how far they've come. Then into Mississippi, we've got problems now in Durant, Lexington, and West. You need to get inside a sturdy building and stay there, as we could see some hail and damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour or more. Then Brownsville, you've got strong thunderstorms moving towards you right now. Lots of dangerous lightning with these. Keith?
All right, thanks, Nick. Hey, we talked about torcons a lot today. What does that really mean, though? Let's explain it for you real quick, because it's going to be going on through severe season. If you have a torcon of 4, that means a 40% chance of a tornado within a 50-mile radius. So you take the number, multiply it by 10, and that is your percent chance. That's why we get into the 6. We start getting a little bit more concerned. Our torcon numbers have dropped a little bit, though, for tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit about that coming up. Numbers down a bit for Saturday, but still on the higher side.
After years of being treated like she was invisible, it occurred to Mindy she might actually be invisible. But Mindy was actually not invisible.
Ooh, what are you doing?
Can you see me?
Yeah.
She had just always been treated that
You
way.
don't have to look at me like that. There are worse things than an attractive woman touching your body. Okay.
Join the nation that sees you as a priority.
Nationwide is on your side.
Control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it. That's awesome.
They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, Coast Guard's the last line up at Ben's.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hankook Tires.
Hankook Tire. Be one with the road, no matter the conditions.
Jack's heart attack didn't come with a warning. Today, his doctor has him on a Bayer aspirin regimen to help reduce the risk of another one. If you've had a heart attack, be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Oh no. Can you fix it, Dad?
Yeah, I can fix that. I wanted a car that could handle anything.
I fixed it!
That's why I got a Subaru Legacy.
Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 36 mpg.
I gotta break more toys.
The 2015 Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
Look, this is the new Asian-inspired broth bowl from Panera Bread. Our hero is the soba noodle, which we pair with fresh spinach, mushrooms, and chicken raised without antibiotics.
Very nice.
Then top with a soy miso broth. That's the ticket. And if you're feeling extra adventurous, try our delicious Thai chicken salad, only at Panera Bread.
And with the animals loose in the city, authorities have ordered everyone indoors.
Xfinity Watchathon week is over, but the binge watching doesn't have to stop. Upgrade today and get over 80 additional channels, or add the premium channels of your choice. Perfect for people who really love TV.
If you're not happy with how your allergy medicine treats your congestion, rethink relief with Nasacort Allergy 24-Hour. Unlike antihistamines that target only one cause of your symptoms, Nasacort stops more, relieving the worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. It's non-addictive and has no harsh taste, and unlike Flonase, it's scent and alcohol-free. And it's available over the counter at full prescription strength. Rethink your relief with Nasacort. It stops more of what makes you miserable.
Sundays. One man's trash. This is perfect. Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah, you're getting pounded with rain once again. Heavy rain at our own Dave Malkoff's location. He's been in and out of it throughout the evening, but the worst of the storms are off toward your east now. You are still seeing some lightning, though, flashing here and there around the Shreveport area, so stay inside a sturdy building. When thunder roars, go indoors. We'll be checking back with Dave here in a little bit, but we also want to check in with Keith, talk about the severe weather, where it is now, where it's headed.
Yeah, let's take a look at this line right here. This Dave's location, Shreveport, Louisiana. We do have a tornado warning in through northern parts of Louisiana. It's the only one at the moment that is left over. We haven't seen a ton of these, which is obviously a good thing. Here we are, Morehouse Parish is what we're watching, and this is valid until 12:30 Central Time. So what they were looking for is just like little... What is that? I just knocked something over. Sorry about that. We got little spin-ups here within the line. That's what we're watching for the possibility of some rotation in there. So this is kind of the same cell, even though there are two tornado warnings. We're watching the same area, the leading edge of this system, and little notches, as Dr. Forbes likes to call them, on the leading edge of that system. Meanwhile, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in here. That's until 12:15 Central Time. We're in Mississippi here, and that is probably a hailer. Just looking at the radar, you can tell tell whether or not it's straight line winds or hail most of the time. Just by looking at it, that looks a little bit more like hail than anything. Obviously, gusty winds and lightning. And what do you know? This is the hail tracker. Hail size looks like it's decreasing, but this is just an estimate, so it's not always going to tell you. It estimates, though, the hail size over an inch, so that certainly would be sufficient for a severe thunderstorm warning. And that is as that system moves off to the east. Interstate 55 here is what we're watching. Now, look at this thing down here across very southern parts of Texas coming in out of Mexico. Doesn't look like a whole lot. However, it has a ton of lightning with it. A severe thunderstorm warning valid until 12:15 Central Time. This will eventually go out over the Gulf of Mexico again, and only fish and late night boaters will be dealing with it. But at the moment, look at all this lightning. Each one of these indicating at least clouds, ground, lightning, and each of the yellow ones showing that real-time lightning. So it is really covering this area. The density of that lightning is pretty extreme. So we're going to watch this whole area move through during the overnight hours. Now, this plays a role in tomorrow's forecast because I woke up this morning, I looked at the satellite and radar and thought, it looks kind of messy, kind of soupy down here. That could hold down severe later today, which it did. Could happen again tomorrow because we're going to have these showers and thunderstorms moving through the Tennessee Valley into the mid-south, slightly stabilizing the atmosphere in the morning, which sometimes is hard to recover from by the afternoon. So we're going to have to watch that. That and some dry air at the mid-levels have led us to slightly lower our forecast for tomorrow, but it's still a severe weather day to watch. Nick?
Seems like a good time to talk about the safest place to be in your home during a tornado threat. And that would, yeah, you guessed it, would be the basement. The basement is the best. A lot of folks don't have a basement. So what kind of alternatives do you have? Well, one thing you want to remember is to put as many barriers between you and the outside as possible. As many walls as you can. So maybe an inside room would be the safest place. That is one possibility. Perhaps under the stairs, or hallways too. They might be good shelters as well because they often have several walls, or at least a lot of space in between you and the outside walls. Now, you want to go to the lowest floor. In a small center room like a bathroom or a closet, this if you don't have a basement, but always consider what's on the floors above you. You know, is there a bathroom just like this above you with a big heavy tub? Well, you might want to avoid that because, you know, you want to shelter away from heavy objects that could fall on you. And crouch as low as possible, facing down with your hands over your head. One good thing to remember here, and always cover your head when there's a tornado warning. Keith?
All right, good advice there to get into the inside part of the house if possible. Meanwhile, take a look at lightning storm-like clouds in Carrollton, Texas. Some pretty good looking stuff there. A lot of that cloud to cloud, which is sometimes the most vivid lightning you can get because you see kind of streaking across the sky and a little bit less dangerous. Also some cloud to ground lightning in the background, but some good looking stuff there. We've had some really highly electrified systems over the past couple days. I've noticed that from those lightning strikes. And another stunning photo of storm clouds and lightning from near Greenville, Texas. This one, I'm assuming, came with some sort of exposure, time-lapse exposure, but there's cloud to cloud in there. There's cloud to ground lightning. So even though the tornado threat today has not been huge, we have had a lot of really heavy lightning. The system right now down into southern parts of Texas has a ton of lightning with that. That'll continue through the evening. We'll be right back.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
watching extended coverage of a dangerous weather setup affecting several states right now. We've seen some flooding, rain, some hail, some intense lightning, and a few tornadoes as well. And we're going to continue to watch that through the evening. We're here to keep you ahead of the severe storm threat. And thanks for joining us tonight on the Weather Channel. I'm Keith Carson.
And I'm Nick Walker. We've seen reported tornadoes in Kansas and Texas, also trees and power lines down throughout the Lone Star State and now into Louisiana and Arkansas.
Yeah, let's start with where we're at right now. Watches and warnings wise, we still have quite a few left over. Here's your severe thunderstorm watch down across southern parts of Texas with a really highly electrified system down there. Also one down just to the south of San Antonio there. They'll probably trim that out pretty soon. Meanwhile, we do have watches, tornado watches, still enough rotation in the atmosphere to give you some problems, maybe northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and into western parts of Mississippi.
We have been getting so many pictures in from Texas, you can hardly retweet them fast enough. Yeah. Midlothian, you saw the storms come through, and Hannah Fry, she tweeted this out. Great picture here of the lowering cloud. Lots of windy conditions and damaging winds in Texas.
Yeah, some ominous clouds in there, some shelf clouds as well. Let's take a look at what we're seeing in Dallas-Fort Worth area. This was earlier this evening, I should say. Big trees toppled, some uprooted, and reports of an apartment building damaged. We also had some power outages there. There was a pretty nasty little cell that moved right through the Fort Worth area, maybe a brief spin up of a tornado outside of town, but the straight line winds were pretty tremendous with that. We saw that coming. Sure enough, there was damage left behind. Nick?
One of the tools we use on our radar a lot of times is showing the storm reports, and you can see where there was significant weather, North Texas and now into southern Arkansas, into Louisiana. You can see the wind reports in west of Fort Worth and Benbrook here. Highway 377 and Tiger Trail, 72-mile-per-hour wind gust clocked. Just amazing. So we had hail, we had damaging winds, we had trees down on homes, we had trees down on the road, and some large hail reported in this area as well. Now we're getting more and more reports here right around the southern portions of Arkansas and northern Louisiana. This is where we have tornado warnings out, and even if we don't get tornadoes, but we could, even if we don't, we're going to get some possible damaging straight line winds. We've already seen that right along the border here of Arkansas and Louisiana. So Morehouse Parish in Louisiana, Ashley County in Arkansas under a tornado warning here. Bonita, Parkdale, and Wilmot. This is an area where you need to get inside the lowest level of your home, away from windows, get into a basement if you've got one. Then we've got flooding problems. The rain has been so incredibly heavy here around the Greenville area. Cleveland, Greenville, and Leland under flash flood warnings. We've had at least a couple of inches fall in a short amount of time, and so there could be water over roadways. There could be some small streams coming up out of the banks, and that could take some time before that really comes to fruition. Attala, Carroll, and Holmes counties in Mississippi under a warning for the possibility of hail and damaging winds. Durant and West, you need to be on your guard for that possibility. Could see some strong wind gusts as these thunderstorms come through. Then we've got South Texas. The problems here have been lightning for the most part, just numerous lightning strikes, but thunderstorms coming through. They've already passed through Harlingen, coming up into Raymondville. So Cameron County, one of those counties that is under warnings right now, and look at all this lightning. Massive amounts here. 2,300 strikes in just the last 15 minutes. Almost unheard of. Stay inside. Keith?
Yeah, I'd say that's a safe assessment. Thank you very much, Nick. Hey, we have teams out covering the areas impacted tonight. We've been handing out Red Bull to them. Dave Malkoff in Louisiana right now. And Dave, you had that line come through earlier, and now looks like what? You just dealing with a little light rain?
Just a little light rain, but a lot of lightning. You were saying that 2,300 strikes in the past 15 minutes in another area, but right here, we're seeing lightning strike all over the place. If you just take a look at the sky for the next few minutes, you'll probably see some either cloud-to-cloud lightning or cloud-to-ground. We've seen both of them in the last few minutes. We're also hearing from the National Weather Service here in Shreveport that they are considering another tornado warning for this area, which is the northern part of the state. They're not exactly sure where they're going to issue that warning from, but they are putting the word out that they are having that in consideration. And we've seen a lot happening here in the northern part of the state. And you just see that? There goes the lightning. That's the lightning I was telling you about. To our east, our northeast, we have actually seen reports of nickel-size hail coming down, and trees snapped, and there were tornado sirens that were going off. So we got a lot of lightning here, but a lot of lightning out in the plains in Kansas, where our Mike Bettis is standing by live with his mobile unit. Mike, you're seeing it flash all night long there.
Yeah, we certainly did. Now the strongest of the storms has passed off to our east, Dave, but that's good news. Things are beginning to quiet down for us here in Hutchinson, Kansas. We're about an hour west of Wichita. We've finally seen some clear skies out there, see some stars out there, see the moon. Haven't actually seen any clearing in the skies almost at all today. It's been mostly cloudy skies, and then we had the storms that came through. Now, the storms that we see right now, none of them are severe thunderstorm warned across the state of Kansas. There's a little slug of storms trying to come into Wichita. That should be in there momentarily. Storms have been breaking down as they've rolled over toward Topeka this evening, so you probably get nothing more than rain, but wouldn't be surprised to see some lightning and maybe some brief small hail around the Wichita area. This area, though, boy, we got nailed here in western and central Kansas, especially when you go up to around the Hays area, around Scott County or maybe Russell County. This is where we had some brief tornado touchdowns, more or less land spout features. And what that is, it's a tornado, but it doesn't have its attachment to the rotating mesocyclone. So it's just kind of a colloquialism, but it is indeed a tornado. Some brief touchdowns there, no damage reported. But tennis ball size hail reported in other locations like the town of Lucas, and big, perfect, photogenic, Keith, shelf clouds around Hudson and around St. John. So if you had your camera out there this evening, you saw some great photos right before sunset. But now everything moves into eastern Kansas, things dying down slowly tonight, but watch for the lightning, watch for some very heavy rain.
Yeah, Mike, those were weather pinups there earlier with those really good-looking shelf clouds. Hey, let's talk about tomorrow or today, depending on what time zone you're in. But hey, let's talk about it. Either way, today, tomorrow, let's talk about Saturday. Birmingham, Nashville, Atlanta, all under the gun. We have a lot of big population areas that we're watching tomorrow. Torcon numbers, southern Illinois, a 6, western Kentucky in there as well. Down to a 4, eastern Kentucky. There has been a lowering of some of these Torcon numbers. That's worth noting because we think there are some inhibiting factors. Down to a 3 in northern Georgia, central Alabama. We've got dry air. We probably have some thunderstorms that are going to muck up our life early in the day. And when you get those thunderstorms early in the day, it stabilized the atmosphere for the rest of the day. It happened today, and look that we didn't end up with such a huge outbreak. So that's a good thing, but that's what we're dealing with as we head into Saturday. Now, Sunday, we shift back into Texas and Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, the possibility of some strong to severe storms there. Torcon not super high there, 3 out of 10 in central Texas, but we'll continue that threat into Monday as well with a Torcon of 4 out of 10 there. Good news is, as you're looking to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, it looks like the severe will take a little time out.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hang up tires.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore. It's part of a big Italian family.
Joseph A. Bank presents the 70% off sale. All suits, all sport coats, select dress pants and sportswear, all 70% off. Sale ends Sunday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
Oh man, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
You gotta do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim. State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind.
I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, Sundays at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather Channel's most watched original program,
and it just hit us,
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
True Green presents The Yardleys.
Drives down the lane. Beautiful.
Oh, come on.
Big man underneath.
Come on. It was in the pink there.
Gets it up off the glass and it's in for two.
This is more than a lawn. This is a True Green lawn. Live life outside with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. Spring is on. Start your True Green lawn plan today. True Green, live life outside.
You guys, I think she's here. She's here.
Is that her?
No, Valerie said she's driving a Buick. So it doesn't look like a Buick.
Take a fresh look at Buick. It just might surprise you.
I'm outside. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm in the Buick. I don't see a Buick.
That's not a Buick. That's what I told him.
Wow. This is
nice. Now get sign and drive leases across the entire 2015 Buick lineup. Like this Buick Encore for around $199 per month on vehicles in stock the longest.
Looking better in Fort Worth, Texas than you did earlier today. Look at this. Marissa Duran sent in this picture. Look how large that tree is. I mean, you had 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts that knocked trees down, and this is the kind of damage they caused. Unfortunately, this was not an isolated situation. We had trees down in many areas, and trees on homes even caused these problems with cracked ceilings. So a lot of damage, a lot to clean up here after thunderstorms today.
Everything passed over. The lady I was talking to experienced right, in front of her, when it all was happening. She was in her car, and maybe a quarter from the branches, it just all came down and everything just blacked out. And she was telling me, how blessed she was just to be able to get out of that situation.
Looking out the window, and you can actually see all the wind coming across, and all the trees were just blowing like crazy. And then once it hit around the pool section, a couple of the tables and the chairs and stuff went inside the pool, and the pool itself looked like it was white capping, like you were in the lake white capping. And then it just kind of pulled over, and all of a sudden the tree just went straight down.
And you need a big skimmer to clean that pool out. I remember I used to have to do that as a kid, get the skimmer, get the bugs out of there and stuff. Look at this wind gust, 72 miles an hour. Thunderstorm wind gusts. We had some really strong ones, 75 miles an hour. That's Joshua. So we had these straight line winds that were very damaging, and 60 miles an hour. If you've ever been out in a wind gust that's over 50, you'll know it, because people often overestimate what the wind is really like. A 30 mile per hour wind gust they think is 60 or 70. Take a look at our line right now. It's congealed. It's a squall line at this point. There's no discrete supercells left, and honestly, there weren't that many of them even this afternoon. A few in Kansas, but not that many down here in Louisiana and in through eastern Texas. We do have a tornado warning, though. We want to draw your attention to Morehouse Parish, Ashley County. Louisiana is parish, and Arkansas is county. We've been looking for just like little notches in the front of this line, and that's what the National Weather Service has been warning for these systems. We haven't seen anything yet that has jumped out at me and said this is definitely a tornado, but there's enough rotation to give them pause to put that tornado warning. They draw that in, just drop that other one behind it there. Moving east, a little bit of a southeastward component to it. So Oak Grove coming in at 12:14, and then Lake Providence, that's coming in at 12:31, and then Walsh coming in at 1:02 if the whole thing holds together. And Alan, do we have the velocities there? I'm just curious to see if there's any clear couplets there at all. But overall, oh, there we go. All right, so we're trying to see if there's little, so they're looking at just little notches in right here. for the possibility. And they actually back warned this one, yeah, right here. I can see a little couplet right here, so what you're looking for is a rotation. Sometimes it's a broad rotation, and it means that the thunderstorm is a little bit of a mesocyclone to it, but it doesn't actually drop a tornado. But they're warning this one, and then probably this couplet down here, just being careful in northern parts of Louisiana and into Arkansas, because the ingredients are there for a tornado to form. So just be aware of that. They keep warning this one as it moves eastward. Meanwhile, what's going on up here is rain, pretty much. Through Wichita, we had Mike Bettis out in this direction right in here. He's kind of in the break. You saw a little bit of the moon there. Otherwise, we got a lot of lightning. We've got some rain, but we don't have any severe storms left in Kansas. They were more in the supercell set of things, and they have dwindled at this point. Nick?
Well, let's take a look at some of the pictures that have been coming into us. This one near Greenville, Texas. Corey Carpenter Photography tweeted this one out. Look at the lightning. Thunderstorms produced a lot of that today in North Texas. This Greenville is just to the east of the Dallas area. Lots of phenomena from these thunderstorms, including lightning, hail, damaging winds, and also this, a rainbow here from DeSoto, Texas earlier today. After the storms passed off toward your east, leaving all that damage behind, it was nice to see this little promise of color in the sky.
Hey neighbor, this weekend only at your neighborhood Ace, buy one bag of Scott's Weed and Feed and get Scott's Lawn Food for free. That's a $15.99 value, because getting help at Ace is like going to your neighbor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Gonna wash the dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may. I'm making a beautiful day.
You're only young once, unless you have a Subaru.
The Subaru XV Crosstrek. Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 34 mpg. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Incredible! I've been Claritin cleared for 10 days.
When your allergy symptoms start, doctors recommend taking one Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief.
With powerful 24-hour non-drowsy Claritin, live Claritin clear. Every day.
I recommend Nature Made fish oil because I trust their quality. They were the first to have a product verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended fish oil brand.
We come by almost every day to deliver your mail.
So if you have any packages you want to return, you should just give them to us.
Since we're going to be here anyway, it's kind of a no-brainer.
High-performance car, but still driving with indoor glasses? Xperio UV superior polarized sun lenses eliminate 100% of blinding reflective glare and offer the maximum UV protection. Ask for Xperio UV superior polarized sun lenses for the best vision under the sun.
Life changes. A small business's life is no different. That's why Constant Contact email marketing is built to evolve with your business, month to month, year to year. So whether it's an email to reach new fans and customers, or a quick and easy way to announce a big sale, Constant Contact's email marketing and free expert coaching are all you'll need, no matter how much things change. Help your small business do more business. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
Control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome. They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's the last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Storm's coming. There goes my satellite signal. Get Xfinity. It's perfect for rainy days. You can just pull up your shows, curl up in a duvet, maybe even draw up a bath and see where the night takes you. That sounds real nice.
Don't settle for satellite. Xfinity is perfect for people who like reliable TV service, rain or shine. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play and experience the X1 Entertainment operating system. Call or visit today.
If you're battling addiction, it's not easy to ask for help. End Addiction would like to help you.
End Addiction can help you get immediate admission into a recovery center near you. Many insurance plans will pay up to $30,000 for the cost of getting you help with no money out of pocket. The first step to ending addiction starts with one free, private, and no obligation call. There are things you still need to do. The first thing is to call End Addiction.
1-800-435-1043.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. This is a time lapse out of Dallas, Texas. Earlier, we had a pretty feisty storm move through there, especially in the Fort Worth area that had some strong straight line winds, and wind gusts measured up to 75 miles an hour just to the west of the city. You can see a good thunderstorm rolled on through there as well, and then back out on the other side eventually. Wait for it. The sun will come out tomorrow eventually. There we go. And then we clear out. But that was a pretty strong thunderstorm that moved through Dallas, our biggest metro area that got hit today. A few storms in through Kansas as well. But you can see at the end of that, just in time to catch a beautiful sunset. The full gamut going down in Dallas today. Nick?
Wow, that's a great time lapse. But what the amazing thing is that these thunderstorms have held up for hours now. This is the same thunderstorm complex that raked through Dallas and caused that rain and the gusty winds that we saw, damaging winds as well. And now we're seeing damage in southern portions of Arkansas and northern Louisiana, and the potential for more. We've got a tornado warning now that is getting ready to cross the Mississippi River as these thunderstorms make their way toward Mississippi. We have East Carroll and West Carroll parishes in Louisiana under tornado warnings, and we've got several counties and cities here under a tornado warning in portions of Arkansas and now into Mississippi as well as these thunderstorms continue to progress eastward. Already, we've seen trees down, we've seen trees on homes, we've seen trees down on roadways and even cars crashing into them and rescues having to be made as a result of all that. So big problems now moving toward Mississippi as these thunderstorms make their way eastward. South of Corpus Christi, north of Brownsville, we've got a thunderstorm complex that started back in Mexico, crossed the border, made its way through McAllen, through Harlingen, and now moving toward Port Mansfield and getting ready to move offshore, but not before it puts down some heavy rain and lots of lightning. It's just amazing the number of lightning strikes we have seen in this relatively small area as this thunderstorm complex continues to push eastward. We've seen as much as 2,000 and more lightning strikes in just 15 minutes' time. All right, here's the forecast for the coming hours. As we get into the overnight hours, into tomorrow morning, we expect to see these thunderstorms to continue to proliferate eastward. So, portions of Mississippi, northern Alabama, Huntsville down to Birmingham, northern Georgia could see these thunderstorms by tomorrow morning. All right, we'll be looking for the possibility of even some of these becoming severe during the morning hours. So we'll have to keep close watch on that. Thunderstorms tomorrow could be severe all the way from New Orleans to Jackson, Mississippi, Birmingham, Nashville, down toward Atlanta, Tallahassee, even Jacksonville, Florida. Could see strong thunderstorms. The biggest threats will be hail and damaging winds, but we can't rule out tornadoes either. Heath?
All right, thank you, Nick. Let's talk about some hail. Hail coming down in St. Martinville, Louisiana. That's some pretty big hail as well. You can hear it bouncing off everything. Roof, driveway, cars. Not good for the car. Meanwhile, hail covering the ground in Lucas, Kansas. Reports of hail 3 inches deep and the hailstones the size of baseballs. So that looks more like a winter storm. It looks like that late winter, early spring snow that you get up there and you have to kind of plow out of the way. Let's talk about how hail forms, okay, because it's obviously going to be a topic for us over the next couple of days. The beginning of all of this is something called an updraft. It's that air rising up into a thunderstorm. Updrafts can be pretty strong, up to 100 miles an hour or a little bit more when you get that inflow coming in, that warm, moist air trying to rise up into the cloud and condense. And it will do so. Tiny drops of rain form, and as they get into a colder part of the cloud, as they go higher up in elevation, it gets to the freezing level in which the liquid does then turn into ice, and it gets bigger and bigger. It accumulates on top of itself. And at first, the updraft is strong enough to support the hailstones. But eventually, as more water droplets come in contact with that ice, they also freeze, and it gets heavy enough that the updraft can no longer suspend it. When that happens, you see it fall down from the cloud. The stronger the updraft, the bigger the hailstone when it hits your yard.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Where do you get this kind of confidence? At your Ford dealer, that's where. Our expert trained technicians, state-of-the-art technology, and warranted parts keep your vehicle running right. It's no wonder we sold more than 3.5 million tires last year. And during the big tire event, get a $120 mail-in rebate on 4 select tires.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Jack's heart attack didn't come with a warning. Today, his doctor has him on a bare aspirin regimen to help reduce the risk of another one. If you've had a heart attack, be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Dad, how many more weeks are you going to be using my car?
Until my insurance claim goes through, this is our car.
Mr. Parker, my parents have...
Allstate.
They have this...
Claim satisfaction guarantee.
Really?
Their claim experience is...
fast, fair, and hassle-free.
Or they get their, money back.
Sarah! Come to prom with me!
No.
Hey, Mr. Parker.
Claim satisfaction guarantee. Just another way Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Introducing new Flonase Allergy Relief Nasal Spray. This changes everything. New Flonase outperforms a leading allergy pill, so you will inhale life. When we breathe in allergens, our bodies react by overproducing 6 key inflammatory substances that cause our symptoms. Most allergy pills only control one substance. Flonase controls 6, and 6 is greater than 1. So roll down your windows, hug your pet, dust off some memories, make new ones. New Flonase. 6 is greater than 1. This changes everything.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind.
I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, Sundays at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
and it just hit us,
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
There's a lot of hail, a lot of rain in the Dallas, Texas area tonight. Take a look at the hail bouncing. Yeah, and splashing. Making a pretty big splash, those thunderstorms did as they moved through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This was probably not the biggest problem, though. The biggest problem were those damaging winds. Yeah. We had a lot of trees down. We still got power outages tonight. So things are looking a whole lot better there in Dallas, but there's a lot of cleaning up to do.
Yeah, there is. And thanks for staying with us here in the Weather Channel. We're in extended coverage. We don't stay up just for fun. Well, maybe Nick does, but we're here to keep you ahead of tonight's dangerous
You're
weather.
not having fun?
No, I'm just saying you're a partier in general. You're normally up. I'm normally not. That's all I'm saying.
You found me out.
We had some hail, as we talked about, some flooding, even a few tornadoes out there. Check out these clouds in Kansas.
Yeah, Nicole Leffler shot this picture, and I love this picture here. Nicole, I follow her on Facebook, and she says she has a thing about clouds, and she loves to photograph them, and boy, what a photograph that is of a mean-looking thunderstorm cloud near St. John, Kansas today.
That'll get some people going in the other direction, unless they're storm chasers, I suppose. Let's take a look at our watches and our warnings right now, and we had one just, the thunderstorm one just inspired. We still have these tornado watches.
Yeah, the tornado watches go until 4 o'clock Central Time, 4 a.m. into Mississippi. Now, we're already seeing thunderstorms moving this way, but we've also seen them all the way back into the western portions of northern Louisiana and even into eastern Texas, where we had problems earlier. So the watches continuing into the wee hours of the morning, as are the thunderstorms, some of which are severe right now, Keith.
Yeah, still get some strong ones left over for sure. Let's take a look at, we'll start in Kansas, where we have the main upper level low. You can see it spinning around here. At the moment, we're talking about lightning, heavy rain, maybe a few gusty winds. There's no severe thunderstorms left in Kansas. And we have Mike Bettis out here to the west of Wichita. Line coming through Wichita right now. It'll sweep in through Kansas City, maybe a rumble of thunder there to wake you up. Otherwise, not a huge deal up there. Meanwhile, our main squall line has been down here across parts of northern Louisiana, getting in through Mississippi. They continue to tornado warn, is that a verb, I guess, down here, this particular cell, this little notch on the leading edge of this line. So it's still tornado warn in through Lake Providence and Mayersville. And we haven't seen anything yet that has jumped out at us, but just treat this as if there is a tornado here. We haven't seen any reports of it hitting the ground, and we haven't seen a ton of rotation, but we're just looking for these little kind of kinks in the line as across the Mississippi River here, the possibility of some rotation. That's good enough for them to throw up a tornado warning in these kind of conditions. Meanwhile, we had this really feisty, nasty little storm coming in out of Mexico. It smuggled itself across the border and brought a ton of lightning in here. It was a highly electrified system, and I don't know if we still have lightning data here, Alan, but I know at one point we were getting 1,500 strikes per 15 minutes just in this one cell, and still putting down quite a bit of lightning as it streaks off into the Gulf of Mexico. Be interested to see, I'm not going to stay up for it, but I'd be interested to see if it survives its trek across the Gulf of Mexico, pops out the other side tomorrow morning. Look at the lightning strikes here, still over 1,000 in the 15-minute period. Each one of those yellow ones indicating a real-time lightning strike, and these are just the ones hitting the ground and being detected by the network. Some of them are going to be cloud to cloud. You're not going to have as much detection there. So let's progress this forward in time, because we need to talk about tomorrow/today, because it's really late. This whole line will push through, but what happens sometimes is this ends up stabilizing the atmosphere a bit, because it happened this morning. I woke up and looked at the satellite and radar over Louisiana, East Texas, and thought, this could kind of squash our severe potential, and it could happen again tomorrow. Look at 7 o'clock, moving in through northwestern parts of Georgia. So our thunderstorm forecast still holds. There will be thunderstorms here, and some of them will be strong to severe. However, we do have the issue of stabilizing the atmosphere early in the day and the possibility of some mid-level dry air, so our Torcon numbers have been reduced for tomorrow. Nick?
Our live teams are out in full force tonight. Meteorologist Mike Bettis is in Kansas. We'll hear from him in just a few minutes. Let's start, though, with Dave Malkoff. And Dave, well, I tell you what, you've been in and out of the rain, in and out of the lightning. What do you have in Shreveport right now?
Yeah, right in the middle of it, where the storm kind of formed a bubble around us. The weirdest thing happened tonight, and we still have a little bit of rain coming down. Let me tell you, the most damage that we've seen here in Louisiana comes from hail. We just had a report of golf ball size hail earlier tonight that happened in Vivian, Louisiana. That is just about 45 minutes north of us in the northwestern corner of the state. So that was the largest hail that we've heard about tonight. We also heard about nickel-sized hail in the northeastern part of the state. That's where they still have a couple warnings going on tonight. But for the most part, the storm that caused a lot of damage in the Texas, in Dallas and Fort Worth area, in the Metroplex, that pushed through, and it kind of broke up when it came through here, but it did still cause some of that hail damage, and we have seen a lot of lightning around us. Another person who's seen a lot of lightning tonight is Mike Bettis, who's in Kansas, in Hutchinson. Now, you saw a lot of lightning before that storm pushed through you as well.
Oh, for sure, Dave. And things have calmed down for us quite a bit here in central Kansas. Everything now pushing eastbound, going over toward I-35, and then it'll go through eastern Kansas for the remainder of the night. So you're going to potentially be woken up in some areas, maybe like Wichita storms coming over us right now, or Emporia, or maybe Topeka. So just be aware that maybe you'll have the kitties running into bed with you tonight, or you're going to have a nervous dog tonight. But good to see that we've got, at times, some clear skies out there and some stars overhead. At times we've been able to see the moon tonight as well, but no lightning out there. So I think we're going to give the all clear here in Hutchinson. But it's been a rough day for us across Kansas, and we've had multiple reports of tornadoes that touched down Russell, Kansas, and Russell County and Scott County here in northwest Kansas. We also had some large hail, up to a tennis ball size hail that did some damage in the town of Lucas. We had these beautiful picturesque shelf clouds that rolled through. We actually saw one ourselves in the town of Hudson and over towards St. John as well. But now these storms kind of losing their punch just a little bit, guys. We don't have any more severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings right now. We don't anticipate that for the remainder of the night. Now that we're nighttime, we've lost some daytime heating. The air stabilizes some, and the storms tend to just rain themselves out. And I think that's pretty much what we'll count on for the remainder of the night here in Kansas.
All right, and we got to give Mike Bettis a shout out. He was up for Wake Up with Al this morning at whatever 4:30 Central.
Iron Man.
But thank you for staying with us and giving us that report.
Well, you know, people in Dallas and Fort Worth knew the storms were coming today, but nothing could prepare one neighborhood for the moment a violent thunderstorm crashed in.
Yeah, Amanda Guerra from our affiliate KXAS explains.
Out of nowhere, we were in a car, and the car starts to just shift, just gradually start shifting and moving.
Lakeisha Teal says she was lucky. She and her baby sister were inside their car when these massive trees came tumbling down on her street. The 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts clipping treetops and splitting trunks in two.
I'm amazed because I never, in my life thought I would see this happen.
I was looking out the window, and you can actually see all the wind coming across, and all the trees were just blowing like crazy.
Across the street, it was Michelle Contrell's apartment that took the brunt of the damage.
All of a sudden I heard a pop, because that was the tree coming out of the ground. And then I could just watched it, just slow motion, just drop down to the ground.
She rushed to her bathroom as glass started to shatter. And then so when you came out, what was the result with the tree in relation to your apartment?
It was inside my house, or inside the apartment.
Thankfully, she's okay, as is everyone at this Fort Worth AutoZone. They managed to rush inside as the winds whipped around, twisting this billboard to the ground.
That is an amazing shot. That billboard just twisted over, not broken,
You know, the straight line winds aren't as sexy as the tornado as far as people chasing and all that, but they can do a lot of damage for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at the current radar, see what's going on out there. And that's what we're left with for the most part, straight line winds. We still have that pesky tornado warning out there crossing the Mississippi right now. But, yeah, Nick, we haven't seen any reports of a tornado on the ground yet.
And that's good news.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, we could see more wind damage from these thunderstorms as they cross the Mississippi River. And that tornado watch goes until 4 a.m. Central Time.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore. It's part of a big Italian family.
Gone fishing. It's a sign that means we've locked up and headed off to do something we love. Luckily, there's an entire state dedicated to those little signs, with 19 million acres of woods. Gone biking, gone golfing, and the world. Gone rock skipping, gone sailing, gone wandering. Meet you on the playgrounds of Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hankook Tires.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Thank you for being a sailor and my daddy. Thank you, Mom, for protecting my future.
Thank you for being my hero and my dad.
Military families are thankful for many things. The legacy of USAA Auto Insurance could be one of them. Our world-class service earned USAA the top spot in a study of the most recommended large companies in America. If you're current or former military or their family, see if you're eligible to get an auto insurance quote.
Making a fist. Something we do to show resolve, to defend ourselves, to declare victory.
That's how you do it.
So CVS Health provides expert support and vital medicine
Make a fist for me.
at our infusion centers or in patients' homes. We help them fight the good fight. CVS Health, because health is everything.
Wet Willie's what they called him on the street. Rogue hoses, rain, and juicy llamas. Soaked his pants waist to feet. Duluth Dry on the Fly pants saved the day. All that water got wicked right away. He goes by Bill today. Duluth Dry on the Fly pants. Unwet your pants. Get a pair. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
True Green presents the Yardleys.
Hello? You did?
Will you tell me? You really?
Ding dong.
Oh, the pizza's here.
Hey, come on in.
Right.
Whoa! Lose the sneakers, pal.
Kind of a thing.
This is more than a lawn. This is a True Green lawn.
Sorry.
Live life outside. with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. Spring is on. Start your True Green lawn plan today.
Bye now.
True Green. Live life outside.
Constant Contact makes it easier than ever to connect with customers using all the best email marketing tools, like online promotions and email newsletters, so you can help your small business do more business. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
Well, tornado sirens going off in Duncanville, Texas earlier this evening, and that is always an eerie sound to hear those things roll off. And we had a few times, a couple tornado warnings. So far, the tornado count is sub 10 at the moment. They'll go through and check on that and see if any of those were duplicates. So that is good news. Also, some new video into us from Lucas, Kansas, and it is hail. Now, people in the Northeast, if you're watching this right now, say that looked like what it looked like outside my house today, but yours was snow. And this was hail, just a good amount of it actually accumulating. And that can happen. You can see several inches of hail if it comes down hard enough. It's usually the smaller stuff. And we saw that roll on through Kansas later on this afternoon and earlier through the evening. Nick?
Yeah, we had a lot of hail reports from north central Kansas, north of I-70. Numerous wind reports, too, and even a few tornado reports as well. They were numerous right here. Look at this, a thunderstorm wind gust in Ellsworth, 60 miles per hour. That was along I-70 near mile marker 219. And we also had hail reports that were 1 inch and larger. Some were the size of tennis balls there around Russell County. And we're told that every single home, every single car in the town of Lucas in Russell County has some kind of hail damage. Okay, it's a small town, but nevertheless, that's pretty impressive. Now we've got thunderstorms rumbling through Wichita, making their way up the Kansas Turnpike and into Topeka and then into Kansas City as well. We're going to see more of this. No warnings out, but there could be a lot of heavy rainfall, and obviously there's some dangerous lightning strikes in this up and down Interstate 135 as well. So we're going to keep a close eye on those while we keep a close eye to the south here. Thunderstorms from all the way back into North Texas have now made their way into Mississippi. And there are numerous warnings on these, including tornado warnings right along the Mississippi River. These include areas including Issaquena, Sharkey, and Yazoo counties, Anguilla, Cary, and Rolling Fork. You need to be getting to safety. Okay, the lowest level of your home, away from windows, a basement if you've got it here as these thunderstorms come through. There could be a tornado with these, but even if there's not a tornado, there's likely to be some damaging winds. We've seen a lot of that today. Numerous reports of wind damage with trees on homes, trees on cars, trees on roadways, and power lines down too. A lot of power outages as well. So we'll keep a close eye on this as these thunderstorms continue to make their way eastward toward Yazoo City. Here's the forecast. We anticipate seeing more of these thunderstorms overnight tonight, making their way across northern Mississippi, on into northern Alabama, and finally into northern Georgia as well. Now, you may have heard Keith mention this earlier, that some of this rain may actually inhibit the severe thunderstorm development into tomorrow. We get enough clouds, we get enough rain, we get enough, inhibiting factors here. We might not get that lift that we need in the afternoon for those severe thunderstorms to pop. And also, there's going to be, we think, a lot of dry air in the mid-levels here around Middle Tennessee, portions of Kentucky. Nevertheless, we could very well see some strong thunderstorms in all these areas: Nashville, Birmingham, Atlanta, down toward northern Florida, including Jacksonville and Tallahassee, and again, back into Jackson, Mississippi, all the way into southern Louisiana this time tomorrow afternoon. So keep a close eye, keep the NOAA Weather Radio handy, keep it on alert. If there are any life-threatening thunderstorms, you will want to be the first to know. Keith?
All right, thanks, Nick. It's speaking of what's happening tomorrow and the inhibiting factors, we talk about torcons a lot here at the Weather Channel. It's important that you understand what we're talking about here. So the torcon basically is a number that we use, and you multiply it by 10, it gives you a % chance of a tornado within a 50-mile radius. So you're going to see something like St. Louis, torcon of 5. That means a 50% chance of a tornado within a 50-mile radius there. So that's developed by Dr. Forbes and our Global Forecast Center in-house. They tweak these numbers as warranted. So for tomorrow, or today I should say at this point, Saturday, we had torcons of 6 in a lot of locations because of what Nick just talked about, the mid-level still drying there. We have lowered those numbers, so you'll continue to see those numbers change. Torcon numbers, anything over a 3 is noteworthy. We're going to have some 5s and 6s tomorrow.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this.
Danger. Warning.
You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
Danger.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
We have a tornado on the ground. It's moving. We know you can't control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it. That's awesome.
They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's the last line up at Ben's.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
How long does it take to grow old? And why does it seem like no one wants to do it? Isn't growing old the same thing as living longer? Living longer is something that's on the mind of every pet parent. And what we feed them matters. At Petco, pets are our sole focus. We handpick a unique selection of food to meet our high standards. Because when we feed them better, our companions thrive. Petco, what we feed them matters.
Incredible! I've been Claritin Clear for 10 days.
When your allergy symptoms start, doctors recommend taking 1 Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief.
With powerful 24-hour non-drowsy Claritin, live Claritin Clear. Every day.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to have a vitamin verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended letter vitamin brand.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
And with the animals loose in the city, authorities have ordered everyone indoors.
Xfinity Watchathon week is over, but the binge watching doesn't have to stop. Upgrade today and get over 80 additional channels or add the premium channels of your choice. Perfect for people who really love TV.
Listen up, America!
The price of life insurance has gone down 60% over the last 15 years. Many Americans know they need it, and some that have life insurance know they don't have enough. How would your family get by without you? How are you planning for the uncertainties of life? Find out how easy it is to protect the ones you love. The quote is free and there are no obligations. Listen up, America. Call now.
Sundays.
One man's trash. This is perfect. Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers. Sundays at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Thunderstorms in South Texas. Brand new video coming into us from that area. This thunder and lightning caught on camera in Edinburgh near McAllen in the very southernmost part of the state. Yep, there it is. Wow. Now, we've had problems in Texas. Right now, more than 57,000 customers are without power in the Lone Star State as a result of earlier thunderstorms today with damaging winds. Well, we could see more damaging winds and flood threats and even tornado threats. Let's talk about all the threats on the radar right now with Keith.
All right, thanks, Nick. Yeah, let's take a look at what's going on at the moment. Tornado watches still stringing back on through here. This one invalid until 4 o'clock Central Time. A new one just issued, though, that'll take us in through 8 o'clock. That takes you almost into Birmingham, Alabama. That is 8 Central Time. So they're just going to keep pushing this eastward with the possibility of tornadoes, although admittedly, we haven't seen any within this line, which is a good thing. Now, they continue to box this tornado warning down here as it's crossed the Mississippi. Okay, so there's maybe a little rotation in here, maybe just a little notch in this. Sharkey, Yazoo counties is what we're watching there. That's until 1:30, but it seems like they're going to keep kind of boxing this thing out as it moves across Mississippi. We haven't seen overwhelming rotation in it. We certainly haven't heard any reports of anything hitting the ground. All good things. Not telling you not to take this seriously, but so far it hasn't produced that much. Real-time lightning, yeah, there's a bit of lightning back there on the west side of this system, so even without a tornado, which appears that there probably isn't, there is going to be a lot of lightning in there, heavy rain, maybe some gusty straight line winds. That's the extent of our threat right now, is this line right here as it pushes eastward. We got a few little baby thunderstorms down here, a few showers, thunderstorms down across the coast of Texas. Not a big deal, though, in through Houston. So we progress this in through time, and it ends up continuing to push eastward. We'll still have that tornado watch in effect. Probably not going to get a lot of rotation in these thunderstorms, though, at this point in the evening. And then it's a matter of waking people up with thunderstorms at 5, 6, 7 in the morning, and then talking about tomorrow/today, because we're going to be talking about the possibility of severe weather again, Birmingham, Atlanta, Tallahassee. But with those thunderstorms moving through early in the day, I remember as a kid when I was getting into weather, I hated to see thunderstorms in the morning because I figured we probably weren't going to get anything good in the afternoon. And that often does happen. So we'll watch that, see if it kind of squashes the potential for tomorrow afternoon because of the thunderstorms we're going to see tomorrow morning. We do still have some decent Torcon numbers in there, though. And as we look into Sunday, now another system will move in through Texas, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Shreveport, Louisiana involved there. And our Torcon number, I believe, there is going to be a 3 out of 10 in central Texas. And then we'll continue that into Monday. So once we get the system offshore tomorrow, we do have another threat back into Texas Monday, San Antonio, Houston, New Orleans, in through Dallas. Our Torcon, I think, is a 3 or a 4 here on Monday. It is a 4, north central and east central Texas. Some good news, computer models in the mid-range looking pretty quiet after that. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Get a ridge to build in. Doesn't mean we won't see any thunderstorms, but nothing on the models jumping out at us and saying we're going to have a big potential after we get through at least the next few days. Nick?
And Keith, with at least some tornado threat in the forecast, it's probably a good time to talk about the safest place to be in your home during a tornado threat. You hear us talk about it all the time. The basement is the best, the very lowest portion of your house. Now, if you don't have a basement, you need to be on the lowest level, whatever that is, but also an interior room. The trick is to put as many barriers between you and the outside as possible. So you see here on the blueprint, the safest room would be behind a couple of walls here and not next to the outside walls. Also, remember, under the stairs or the hallways might also be shelters as well. But a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. You know, we talk about the lowest floor, maybe a small center room like a bathroom or a closet, but consider what's on the floors above you and avoid shelter beneath heavy objects. Like, if you got a bathroom above with a heavy bathtub, avoid being in the bathroom below. Keith?
Or if you have a weight room or something like that. Yeah, all those things you got to watch out for. Here's what we've seen tonight. This is video from Lucas, Kansas. Some big hail in there, accumulating hail as well. We also saw a tornado touchdown. We have seen a couple, probably we're up to about 9 reports, I think, of tornadoes at the moment. So that's something that they'll go back and see if it's less or more than that. But as far as the possibility of an outbreak, we were really in good shape, because usually you think about more than 20 tornadoes with an outbreak, and it looks like we're in the single digits all good things.
So if you're in Mississippi or Alabama, probably a good idea to stay tuned to the Weather Channel. We'll be bringing you updates tonight as the threat for severe weather continues.
Yeah, our boy Ray Stagic's going to come in. He's going to keep you updated all the way through the morning hours if there are any things that you need to know about.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Overnight, mostly clear, low 74. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 87. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, let's talk about our latest tornado watch that's valid until 8 o'clock Central Time, taking you almost into Birmingham, Alabama. They continue to push these watches eastward as the severe weather threat goes with it. The line right now, some pretty strong storms in there, certainly some gusty winds, some lightning. There's a tornado warning that they continue to push out here into Yazoo City, but I'll tell you what, I haven't seen anything that's shown me too much rotation in this. Take it seriously, but I haven't seen anything that has made me think there's actually a tornado there, just maybe a little rotation at the mid-levels there. We'll watch that. Lightning behind it, so certainly a lot of lightning, some gusty winds behind whatever that rotation may be. Thunderstorms will continue to push eastward here. Could be a limiting factor for us tomorrow when we talk about severe weather, because there could be thunderstorms in the morning hours in Alabama into parts of Georgia that typically takes down your threat level a bit for the next day. Here's what we're looking at for your threat level through the day today. All right, Ray Stajic will keep you updated through the night. Have a good one.
You're watching Weather After Dark.
Wait, we'll have to go back. Okay, hold on. I gotta turn around. Oh, it's getting big. That is huge. That's a wedge. I got it.
The tornado has touched down in the city of Joplin.
I have never seen a tornado form that quickly to a mile-wide tornado.
Go east right up here. Go east right up here.
This looks like the end of the world.
Our house had been flattened. We did not know if our son was okay.
People were being hauled away with emergency personnel holding just pieces of these people together.
It was horrific.
I never really thought that